welcome back to Uncle Fezzi's Pelican Paradise. That's right, kids. Uncle Fezzi has a little bit of a fetish, and it's not just getting pissed on. Well, actually, it has something to do with that. I've owned a pickup truck since 1987. And one of the things about owning a pickup truck is every time you throw luggage in the back, inevitably it fucking rains. So, the other thing is I like really expensive shit. And there's no better way to protect expensive shit than to put it in a Pelican case. I'm going to nothing I do is quick. I'm going to go through some of the Pelicans that I own, and I'm going to do a little show and tell and an explanation. And hopefully, if the video's not too long, I'm going to show what I've been doing recently with my Pelican cases. Because if you've ever purchased a Pelican case, first of all, they're god-awful fucking expensive. There's a reason for that. The other thing is, the foam that goes in them actually sometimes costs more than the case itself. Somebody here might recognize one of these cases, or one of my viewers. So, what do I got? Well, I have the obligatory rifle case. I have this one that I bought last week, and I have this one that I bought last week. The rifle case I've had for probably 10-15 years. It's a fucking Harbor Freight. So are these two. Now, I'm going to get into these in a second, but I want to tell you right now, I wouldn't put anything of any fucking value in either one of these two cases. My wife's makeup, I would probably put in one of these, but not my $20,000 fucking camera. So I'm going to move these real quick. And this one, and one for my laptop. This is a 1510 carry-on, or this is a real Pelican. I purchased this about 10 years ago to take to Europe to take to Europe, and it's been to Europe like 4 times, along with pretty much everywhere else in the country. I actually probably bought it about 15 years ago. This case is absolutely fantastic. It's starting to show its age on the inside. That's why I bought this. I actually bought this case to take the pick and pluck foam out of this case and put it in this one. And then I'm going to turn this case into a carry-on. This will actually can be used as a carry-on. So I might use this one as a carry-on case. But what I wanted was the foam out of it. We'll move this monster out of the way. Yeah, so the pick and pluck foam is pretty much identical to what's in the Pelicans. But the quality of this case, you can just touch this case. This shitty Harbor Freight Apache case. And then you can touch this Pelican. It's just a much nicer case. I wanted the foam out of it, that's why I bought this one. I bought this for like 80 bucks. The replacement foam for this case is like 180 bucks. So guess what? We bought the cheap foam. We bought the cheap case to steal the foam out of it. So this is a real Pelican. I actually bought this. I went to my pilgrimage to B&H Photo and I bought this thing at B&H. If you've never been to B&H, it's literally the 7th wonder of the world for photography stuff. And people watching. Yeah, so I'm not going to tip it too far over, but this one's starting to get a little wore. The pick and pluck foam is starting to get wore on this one. This also has you can throw a laptop in here, which I have done. Except now with TSA regulations, it's kind of a pain in the balls to put a laptop in this thing, and I don't generally fly with my laptop. I usually take my iPad, and that goes in my Dom key bag, which is my other carry-on. It's my personal item, my man purse. All right, so we're gonna throw this one aside. The other thing I've been doing is I used to paint them, but now that I have a 3D printer, I've been printing them and putting nice little name tags on them because they look really cool. Now, when you buy a Trigicon scope, they come with Pelican cases with foam. There's a cheap Chinese There's a cheap Chinese red dot in this one, but this is a real deal Pelican, made in the USA, sold by Trijicon, because everyone needs a Bible verse on their scope. Now, to this one. I purchased this Pelican. This is a 16. This is actually a king Pelican case. This case I purchased brand new in 1986. And again, this case has been all over the world with me. It's never failed me. It's the original latches. It's the original hinges. It's the original seals. This thing is so old. The purge valve is a screw. And I actually, for years, I carried my glass blowing torch in this when I was doing glass blowing stuff. So now I have my my regular cutting torch in it, but I'm going to put my glass blowing torch back in this, and then, you know, I'm going to kind of half retire this one, I think, maybe, or not retire at all, take the foam out and do exactly what I'm going to show you what I'm doing with the other cases. This thing is a beast. Why did I buy this in 1986? Well, I bought it mainly to irritate my father, but there used to be a thing called the Camel GP, where they took a whole bunch of Land Cruisers and they did all these crazy things with them. And one of the crazy things they did with the Land Cruisers was they took like 10 of these things, lashed them all together, and floated a Land Cruiser across the Amazon River with these. That's what sold me on the Pelican. That, my buddy Skip. He's like, you gotta get that King Pelican. This case in 1987 was like 300 bucks. Which, if you do the math, is about 600 nowadays. But I love this thing, and I would put anything in it. Even at 30 some years old, it feels and looks and acts the exact same way that a Pelican is supposed to. This is a Pelican 1650 that I got off a dear friend of mine for a hell of a deal. I keep my recovery gear in this now. For a while I didn't know what to do with it because it's an absolute and utter fucking monster. Oh. I go to the beach a lot. So when I go to the beach, I have to take a certain amount of recovery gear with me that I don't necessarily carry with me in the truck all the time. I do carry soft shackles and rope extensions and shit like that. But when I go to the beach, I have to take other stuff. In particular, I have to take a big snatch chain or snatch rope, and these white things are bags. They're pickets. So I can fill your sandbags. So I can fill these sandbags. I'm not going to take them out. I can fill the sandbags with sand and use those to winch myself out because there's no pickets on the beach. This case has the pick and pack foam in it. I think what I may be doing is what I'm going to show you what I did to these other two cases. Like I said, I've owned a pickup truck since 1987. Every time I've traveled anywhere and put luggage in the back, if it wasn't in my Pelican case, it got fucking wet. The other thing is, you show up with a bunch of Pelican cases, you either look rich or you know what you're doing. I'm not rich, and I don't know what I'm doing, but I look like I know what I'm doing. Alright, so we're going to move this monstrosity out of the way. Now, to the whole reason I shot this video, other than to drag out all my Pelican cases and show them all off. These are 1610s. I was going to buy 1600s. I was going to buy myself a brand new 1600, which is this size with a folding handle. This is the 1600 series. This is the same size as the 1600 series. That's what these are. But this is only 8 inches wide. No wheels, and they don't have wheels, but they do have a handle on the end that this one doesn't have. My wife, whose luggage got wet on the way home from New Hampshire last month, said, hey, why don't you buy one with wheels? fantastic. I'll buy one with wheels. So I went and looked up the price of the 1610s with wheels from Pelican / B&H. They were like $400 for one. So, you know, the internet. What did I do? I went and did a bit of searching around the internet because I know these are used by the U.S. military. They're used for a lot of things. Everybody that knows anything about carrying and protecting equipment, they will use Pelican cases or Valkyrie or Condition 1, not Apache cases. We're going to get back to that shitty Apache case, I think, maybe, or not. So I went online and I found a place called caseplace.com that sells surplus Pelican cases, all kinds of cases, all kinds of heavy-duty mil-spec cases. And don't be impressed by mil-spec. It's just by the guy who built it at the lowest price. So I got these. I paid $189 a piece for these. Again, I know that sounds expensive, but an empty 1610 is $300. With the foam in them, they're $400. So the problem was, and it wasn't a problem. I'm all confused now. Okay, we're gonna move this one. The problem, it's not a problem, is they had foam in them. Pre-cut, high-density foam. Oops, we're gonna get into that in a second. Actually, well, yeah. So, I don't know what these had held. I'm assuming it was some kind of battery-operated item because these look like battery slots. Doesn't matter. These cases are absolutely 100% brand new, came in Pelican boxes. There was nothing, these are brand new cases for literally half the price, if not less. But they have this high density foam in them. The high density foam in these cases was held in with hot glue of all things. This one came apart pretty nice. This one actually peeled apart without not a whole lot of effort. The other one, which I'm going to show you in a minute, that one, the foam came apart. So, yes, I just hit my tripod with that foam. So, with a little bit of effort, I ripped it out. You can see this is the only places that actually had the foam in them. And this one came apart in two pieces. Now, you can ask, you know, if I had the ambition and if I had a hot knife, I would probably be tempted to try to cut this stuff. You can use an electric kitchen knife also, but quite frankly, I really only need a little teeny tiny bit around the inside to make them not clingety clangy. So, what did I do? Well, the first thing I did was I ripped those out. The other thing I did, and I'm going to bring you in a little closer for this because it's pretty cool. I didn't realize that this worked until very recently. I knew about this trick before. I knew about this trick before I bought these cases, but I'm going to show it just because it's kind of an interesting little tidbit. So this stuff here is hot glue. It's the old school. It's hot glue, aka the spinster's friend. So what do you do to get rid of it? Because it doesn't really want to come off. It actually adheres really well to this polyethylene that these Pelican cases are made out of. That's another thing. Pelican cases are made out of their own proprietary polyethylene. And you can feel the difference in weight, density, and just the feel of this plastic versus the shitty Apache ones that you get from Harbor Freight. The foam, I can't tell a difference, but the actual physical cases you can. So I've been buying isopropyl alcohol. I should be buying it by the gallon, but I've been buying it this way. Isopropyl alcohol, on the spinster's friend and you let it soak. You don't even have to let it soak for very long, to be honest. Now, I've actually used, and I'm going to show what I use. I've actually used spray adhesive on this stuff, and the spray adhesive won't come off. I was afraid it would, it won't. So this stuff, this max strength, this max strength, the green shit, I buy this from Home Depot, but you can get it anywhere. Well, you can't get it anywhere. You have to buy the max strength stuff. Don't buy the stuff in the red can, the 77. It's not worth a fuck. The only stuff that's more useless than the 77 is that Gorilla Glue shit, which is just terrible spray adhesive. So I'm not even really working at this. I'm just picking at it a little bit, and it's only been soaking for a couple seconds, really. I mean, literally, I haven't really even edited. I'm going to edit out a little bit of this, but not a whole lot. What I'll probably do is speed it up. So I'm just soaking these a little, and then I'm going to get my scraper. So I'm actually going to use a metal scraper, but I don't recommend that. The only reason I'm using a metal scraper is because this is my favorite scraper. Actually, I know it sounds really weird. I custom made this scraper, and it's ridiculously sharp. As a matter of fact, I should probably throw a little bit of an edge on it. It takes this, the IPA. I don't even need to use a metal scraper. I could absolutely let this sit for a couple more seconds, another minute or two, and the hot glue just lets go. I don't recommend using heat to get rid of hot glue, and I learned that the hard way. You can reheat it if you need to, get it to flow back out, but to get it off, the best way to do it is with IPA. We don't need to take all of it off, but I do want to get a good bit of it off. Yeah, see that? It just came right off. And again, now this is custom scraper, but you can do it with a plastic one. As a matter of fact, I did the other, I took a good bit of the glue out of the other one with the plastic scraper. The other case had a lot of glue in it. This one, not so much. As a matter of fact, I was able to get the foam out of this one without even damaging them. That's it. Foam's out, or the glue's out enough for what we're doing. So basically what I'm doing here is I'm turning these hard Pelican cases into a little bit more userable cases. The pick and pluck foam is great if you're doing pick and pluck foam type of safety, if you want to put, custom fit them to your pistols, or I don't know, whatever. Like if you have something that a video camera or what have you, where it absolutely positively has to be super duper not move and be super duper protected, like my really expensive camera. The alcohol fumes are getting me high too. Like I said, these cases are brand new. So, what's the next step? Well, I already did part of it. I made this template here for these holes, because I'm going to take this is a PVA foam or EVA foam. You can buy this at Hobby Lobby. This is really high density foam. They use it for like a lot of stuff. I've used this stuff for years to just give a little bit of a cushion for things, and it works great. The LARPers use it to make costumes with. If you ever see like puppets and things. They make these out of foam. They make them out of this kind of foam. You can heat this stuff and bend it however you want. It shapes and cuts and sands really nice. As a matter of fact, I cut this on my chop saw, and it's pretty cheap. And I've actually, I mean, and well, the art wall, if it's cheap, then it's no good and it doesn't last. Not for nothing, I have pieces of this stuff that are literally 20 years old. This is a piece of the same material. This piece of foam is well over 20 years old, and I've been using it as a soft sanding block for close to 20 years. It's exactly the same product. These are the same thing. These are called Dura blocks. Yeah, this is EVA rubber. That's exactly what this is. I pay a lot of money for these things. But these, again, these are well over 20 years old, and I use the living hell out of them. So I have no fear that the foam is going to go bad. You know, not for nothing, but the pick and pluck foam in my other Pelican case is 30 years old, and it's just the same as it was when I first got it. All right, so now, what did I actually do here? The other thing I did was I went to Ollie's, our favorite discount place, good stuff cheap, and I picked up some indoor-outdoor carpeting. I'm actually going to go buy 2 more rolls of this stuff because I like it so much. I don't know what it was originally supposed to be used for. It reminds me of exactly what I'm using it for, which is liner or covering for the inside of stuff. It takes spray adhesive remarkably well. You put a nice coat of spray adhesive on it and you can stick it to shit and it does not come back off. I really like this stuff, and it was dirt cheap to the point where I'm going to go buy another. I might actually go buy 2. I might actually go buy 2 of them, 2 more rolls that are 12 by, I forget how long it was, but it was pretty long, 12 foot by 6 by 12 foot. It was huge, and it was like $30, and it was, I mean, that's really cheap for this kind of carpet. The other thing with that carpet is it works really well with Velcro. So this was the first case that I did. I printed out my name and I stuck it in the spot where the name belongs. The green tape is green tape is my companion who suggested this idea. So ta-da! Now I did purchase this organizer from Amazon, and it's okay. I'm not going to buy another one because this carpet, and you can see the inside here, this carpet takes Velcro remarkably well. I don't have anything. Under normal circumstances, I'd have a piece of Velcro here, but it takes the hook, it takes Velcro hook really, really well, and glue and everything else. I mean, it just, my opinion is it came out perfect. Are they heavy? Absolutely, they're heavy. I know they're heavy, but this organizer I got from Amazon, I thought it was a Pelican branded product because, you know, Amazon, like, Pelican sells this product. It looks exactly like it, but this was not a Pelican product. This one wasn't. I bought it off Amazon. Now, I'd be curious if I bought it off of Pelican, if it would be Pelican branded and made in the United States. This was made in China. I'm not crazy about it. We'll see how it holds up. So the other case that I'm doing, I'm actually going to do, I'm going to do the EVA foam on the top here, and then I'm just going to put carpet on the top. And then everybody knows I got a shitload of bags that I've made over the years, and they all have Velcro on them, and I'm just going to Velcro the bags to the top of it. So, there you go. I couldn't resist showing off my Pelican case collection. And that being said, don't forget, kids, I wrote a book, and this is art imitating life in some ways. The book's name is Love Letters, and Pelican cases play a big part in the final act. Be sure to read it. Reach out to me. I have the latest and greatest edited version of Love Letters ready for EPUB. You can just hit me up and I'll send them to you. If you've already read the book, I can promise you that the new version is a hell of a lot better than the old version, especially if you got the printed one. I removed a couple typos that were so ridiculously blatant, even I had to get rid of them. Along with a little bit of an expansion to the story and a few things taken out that were superfluous and, quite frankly, didn't paint me in the greatest light. Thanks for watching. If you have any more questions about my pelicans, I'd be more than happy to answer any questions, but I don't think there's a whole lot of questions to answer other than why do I have a psychosis about pelican cases. That psychosis, I have a pickup truck, I get rained on, I don't want my shit getting wet, and if I need to build a raft, I can build a raft, like Joe versus the volcano. Thanks for watching.